Thanks for tuning in with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe with us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify and wherever else you stream podcasts. Email us for topics and conversations that you'd like to hear next at info@someonecallbs.com.
Hey guys, it's Brandon.
And this is Sabrina, and welcome to the Someone Call BS podcast, where we discuss navigating marriage, entrepreneurship, and owning our own businesses while also trying to do this thing called life together. Thanks for joining us here and listening to our literal BS.
Oh, you're gonna need to edit that out.
Oh, come on.
Trick two. Is there a trick to make it run a lot better, but for the cheaper?
Seriously, don't say it like that.
Let's get it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
I just had to clean. Oh, yeah, it was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I had to clean the camera right before we came on.
Right before we went live.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, guys? It's the last day of the year, last day of 2023.
Yes. Happy New Year to everyone, because by the time you listen to this, it will be 2024.
2024.
Mm-hmm.
New year, new me. So it'll be time for all that.
What is the point of these mugs? You can't even drink out of them.
Aesthetics. They're from Williams-Sonoma.
I bought, if you're watching, we have copper mugs because we just made spiked like apple cider, but I'm having to hold the mug. You would think in 2023 they would make mugs like that you don't have to hold the side of them, especially for like $40 a mug because they're so hot. And then I just tried to drink out of it and it burned the shit out of my lips just now. So that's a weird design.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think that would happen, but anyway, I guess we'll have to let that cool off. Please go. Can you tell them to go, honey?
Aria, go.
Sorry, we're trying to get situated here with the dogs. Y'all can probably hear them.
Yeah, little terrors.
Now you have some new sunglasses on.
Yeah, I do.
Well?
Do you want to lock these dogs up?
No, I was trying to give them freedom, but they're really interrupting me now.
I think we need to lock it up. It's really messing up our podcast.
Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, we'll get to it now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did. And I got some, this was a gift to me from me.
Oh.
Got me some new blenders. So I'm still not really seeing any kind of sponsorship. Like, I really think they should, at minimum, give me a discount code because I own, like, I don't know, 8 pairs of sunglasses
Well,
now.
and actually, one of our listeners did buy a pair of blenders because of this podcast.
I'm telling you, they're really nice. They're a really nice pair of glasses that are not super, super expensive. These are the Ace Royales. They're also from the Red Bull stable, the Red Bull line that Blenders has. They were the glasses that were released at Vegas this year.
Yeah.
So they're kind of sick.
They're pretty cool, I will say.
Kind of dope. So yeah, I just had 4 more pairs come in. So I'll be using those for the next 4 podcasts.
Well, we do have lots of content to get to today, but I did want to tell you that I got feedback on, remember when we were arguing about the calendar situation? On whether or not the calendar starts Sunday or Monday?
Oh, yeah.
Well, because I told you Landon listens to our podcast, and he said, tell Uncle B that the Spanish calendar starts on Monday, but the English calendar starts on Sunday. So, there you go.
Well, because of my ethnic background, obviously I'm going by the Spanish calendar.
I forgot that you are, well, that would be Spaniard.
Yeah.
You say that you're Mexican. It's a different country.
There's probably some Spaniard in there a little bit.
I cannot drink this. It's really making me upset. Anyway, maybe by the time the podcast ends, we will be able to drink the apple cider. Well,
yeah, we steeped our own apple cider. That's one of the gifts Sabrina got me for Christmas. Is like this whole Williams-Sonoma set with apple cider and the mulled spices and the cinnamon sticks.
I mean, the mug is really cool, but yeah, You can't drink out of it. So that was a fail, I think.
Well, technically, I think copper mugs are not for apple cider. They are for...
They had them exactly with the apple cider case.
They're for the mule drinks.
That's why.
Yeah.
You're supposed to drink cold drinks out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you are.
Well,
I wasn't going to pick that argument on the last day of the year with you. I was, you were leading the way on that.
Well, whoever decorated Williams Sonoma and like set up the products, they set these up right next to the apple cider. Like you were supposed to buy the mugs, drink the apple cider out of them. So I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
It was Williams Sonoma.
Well,
anyway,
at least it looks nice. It's a very nice presentation.
Yes.
So.
Well, what do you want to start with first?
I don't know. I think we said we were going to talk about kind of summarizing our year.
Yeah.
Right?
Why don't you go first? Have you put any thought into the year and what you've learned?
No.
Okay.
Because that's not what I do.
Well,
I'm more of like an act and react type person. So.
Well, what do you think? I still want to start with you. So what do you think was like one of the biggest lessons you've learned this year in life or anything?
Biggest lesson I would say I learned on the business side is you absolutely cannot be everybody's hero. I think this year was a tough year for a lot of people because of the amount of inflation that went on, you know. But obviously there's this weird kind of a good portion of consumers, they don't understand that obviously if prices have went up for you, that means prices have went up from whoever it is you're buying from. If it's a small business or a corporation or whatever,
yeah,
like there's a reason the prices went up. It's not just because they are trying to capitalize like, oh, inflation's going on, we can raise our prices. No, it's because we've got to, like in my case, I have to pay my guys so they can live and buy groceries and whatnot. Obviously, whenever I go to the store, I've got to buy groceries. So I see that a gallon of milk is $17.89 nowadays. So, the people that work for me, they're relying on paychecks from us. So it's just really simple mathematics, which I was never too much good at in school. I copied a lot of homework to get through that, but I am able to put two and two together nowadays and like, oh, okay, well, if things are more expensive, I've got to up wages for the guys to keep up with that and stuff like that. So, yeah, one of the things I learned this year is there's no way you can make everybody happy. You can't be everyone's hero, even if, you want to. You just have to sometimes stand firm, and your price is your price. And the reason it is because you need to make that so you can stay in business. If you do not, then you're not helping anybody. Like, if we don't make enough money and it's not there to pay the overhead and to pay payroll and payroll taxes and property taxes and this, that, and the third that you have to, franchise taxes, fun fact is, whenever you're doing moderately decent in business and you surpass a certain, I don't remember what the number is for gross sales, you get franchise tax. Even though we're not a franchise, it's one location.
Yeah.
But since we gross enough, the government's like, nah, that's franchise based off your numbers. So we have to pay those too. So if you don't make enough to pay all of those things, then you don't, the math doesn't math. You don't stay in business, and then you can help no one. So
yeah,
that was probably, I guess, my biggest lesson that I learned is, believe it or not, I'm a pretty big-hearted person, I feel like, and I do try to help people as much as I can. Like, a lot of times, if I can do something, I'll try and do it. That way I, don't have to charge as much, because if one of my technicians does it, well, they put their time into that. I have to pay them for their time. But if I can do something, I'll oftentimes try to cut time or whatever, because I get paid the same dollar amount no matter what. I'm on a salary, and it's a meager one at that, but it's because I don't really need to make that much, because, we've got other things that we're into.
You're on a salary. So you didn't pay for the big fancy pool?
I did not. I did not pay for the big fancy pool. You actually did. So that was all you and the Sabrina Brown LLC. That was your LLC that footed that one there.
Yeah. If y'all missed that this week on our Facebook, I posted this review that this man left.
Yeah, good old Mr. Holsek.
Mr. Holsek decided to post a bad review about us because he didn't like our pricing, even though there's a whole other story to that part of things.
No, he actually blatantly said that we didn't do our job and we didn't know what we were doing, but also too we were con artists and ripoffs
and that we use the money that we make at F-Bomb to buy fancy pools and fancy trucks.
Fancy big lifted trucks. Which I'm flattered because my truck's not even that big. It's a glorified leveling kit. So if you think that's a big old truck,
that's just the one thing that really pisses me off about people. Like, and I mean, I think a majority of people realize that that's not the case. But like, I've had that comment before where it's like, oh, well, we know what they have to pay for. When in reality, the little bit of profit that we do have goes right back into the business every single fucking time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Brandon gets paid like a small salary so he can pay our mortgage. So thanks, I guess, for helping pay our mortgage, if that's what you want credit for.
Yeah, that's all I pay for is our mortgage. So I just make enough to pay our mortgage, which, by the way, we're one of the people who are going to die in this home because we have it at like less than 3%.
Yeah.
So, which is exactly why we built our big ass fancy pool, because we're going to die here. We're not letting this house go. We are locked into this interest rate. We are not.
We are not leaving.
We are not leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we decided to build the pool here in the first place this year. We really like to travel. So prior to the business, we were very much used to taking like 4 trips a year, because we are dinks. We're dinks. Dual income, no kids. So
maybe that's how we could afford a big fancy pool. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
we're still trying to financially recover from the pool.
Yeah, I mean, technically, all we did is go to the bank and get a loan, and we're just paying the loan.
We paid about half and half. We paid half cash, half.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it escalated quite a bit because of concrete and then this, that, and the third. But yeah, basically, to sum the review up, the guy brought in his 2006 Duramax with it only had 266,000 miles on it. He had just bought it, got a smoking deal on it, sold his Cadillac and bought this Duramax and got a smoking deal on it. And I mean, the trans was fucked. There's no easy or nice way to put it. It came in limp mode and was slipping and had all sorts of issues. So myself, like I've got, out of my guys working for me, 3 of us are ASE certified master technicians, and then 2 of us are GM world-class technicians previously from the dealer. So I mean, we kind of know our way around a GM product. So we already kind of knew what to look for.
Not to mention Brian's like a trans specialist. Did you say that already? Sorry, I was distracted.
Brian that works for us, he does all of our in-house trans rebuilds and performance builds. And I mean, you can take a little stroll through our social media. Like, we built plenty of Allisons for, like, our most notable one is the one that's in Maverick's truck, which that's 1,000 horsepower compound turbo setup, and that thing runs like butter. Like, it's perfect. So basically, based off the codes, we dropped the pan. And I mean, the thing I love is in our system, we use Techmetric, and it has a digital vehicle inspection portal that the customer can see. So we took pictures of his trans pan. There was grit and chunks of clutch debris in the bottom of the pan. It was absolutely horrid. And we sent that to him. And he was like, all right, well, what's my options? I'm like, well, we can rebuild it, with kind of a moderate to stock build, or we can do like a performance build on it, like what we did for Maverick, or you can get like a reman unit from Jasper, but it's going to be like kind of a stock replacement unit. Well, he didn't like the prices of any of those and was like, well, can't you just, I read on a forum you can do this, that, and the other, which I don't do the whole forum thing. Like, we either fix it the correct way or we don't, He was wanting to put a valve body in it. Long term, that's not going to fix it. It needs a rebuild. The reason that the valves were stuck in the valve body, oftentimes it's a reaction. Like when you have something fail on the vehicle, it's kind of like, oh, wow, my radiator busted. I've got a coolant leak and it's a Cummins. Okay, cool. You've got head gaskets that are on the way out. That's what cracked the radiator tank in the first place, was excess pressure in the cooling system.
Yeah. So then if we didn't replace the head gaskets, however long from now, you would come back and be like, hey, my radiator broke again. Y'all didn't fix it right.
Right. Same thing with the valve body. So if we would have just slapped the valve body, could that have got the truck running and down the road? Yeah, sure. But it would have failed again. He would have pulled one of those. We have it all the time. We'll have people that are like, oh, I just want to kind of patch it because I'm going to sell it. And then we see them like 4 months later and they've got something else broke on it. And I'm like, I thought you were selling this. Well, it's just such a good truck, since y'all fixed it the last time. I'm like, oh my God. Like, we told you to get out from under this thing. It's a time bomb. But, we can't control that type of stuff. But basically, he didn't like the fact that we're a repair facility that fixes things the correct way. I don't half-ass stuff. There's no sense in it. And it's just more of a headache for the shop later on if we do those type of half-ass, like patch style repairs. So we just don't.
Well, and it's one thing to like not like that. Like, okay, if you don't agree with that, then and your budget doesn't allow for it, then yeah, go somewhere else and get, something done somewhere else. But don't bash us on a Google review saying that we don't know what we're doing and that we're just trying to steal money.
Yeah. So essentially that's what he did. He went on there and he said he took his truck to another trans shop that he's used before and they put a valve body in it and that's all it needed. Which that's all it needed for that day. The valve body will fail again. The valves will stick because you've got a failing transmission. I mean, the photos don't lie. That's why we take them. We didn't dust the clutch debris into your transpan. That was there, how we found it. So, I mean, I don't really care. I used all 4,000 characters that Google allotted me to absolutely viscerally destroy him via the keyboard because I'm actually quite good at it. So it was a little bit therapeutic for me to just unload on his ass because thanks to my mom sticking me in the corner as a child, making me read the dictionary when I was being a bad boy, I know some big words. So
well,
I tore that ass up.
I know that's not our first bad review. It's not going to be our last. I need to learn how to not take them so badly. I'm not good at that because I feel like obviously if we deserve a bad review, then sure, if we fucked something up or we didn't do something or whatever the case may be, but don't go on there and say a bunch of bullshit because you're mad about the price and then bring our personal lives into it and say, oh, well, they have a big fancy pool and a big fancy truck. You have no idea the sacrifices that it takes to own those things or make that happen or what it takes to live our lifestyle.
Well, not to mention the fact that, I mean, for number one, you will never see a bad review because we broke stuff or anything like that because, accidents happen. We're humans. But I always catch that before it goes out the door and whatever it is.
Well, or we fix it.
I fix it. Yeah. I mean,
we will always fix things that we mess up.
100%.
And to that point, you have fixed stuff that I know for a fact we have not messed up.
Oh, yeah.
But customers will claim that we did certain things.
Now, with my DVI system, I've really cut down on that because I make the guys take pictures of everything. Hail damage? Fuck no. Better be a picture of it and a notation. Vehicle has hail damage. because I don't want any kind of little stupid backlash like, oh, this scratch wasn't there or this dent wasn't there. No, sir. We document everything nowadays. So it's a big CYA, and it also helps us as a learning tool to the customer because people are visual. So if they can see it, they're less apt to think like, oh, they're trying to fuck me over because I can literally see it. Except for this guy, because he saw it and he just didn't like the answer he got.
Well, to credit on some people's part, like if I saw the picture, but without you, which I know you explained it to him, obviously as a customer.
Whole
but
dissertation.
if I saw that picture as a customer, I'd just be like, oh, I don't know what that is. Looks weird.
Yeah,
but
no, he was in the community. He knows like a little bit. Like he knows this shit was.
Oh yeah,
up,
his Google name is like cars.
No,
bullshit.
It was God's gun, tools, and fun.
I think it had trucks or something in there.
Well, I know what it was.
Okay.
And,
well, fuck you. That's what I have to say.
He's like an avid reviewer too. So if you went and looked, he had like, I don't know how many reviews, but I read a few of them, and you could tell like that's what made him just that just really got him going, was making reviews. So you could just read through, like there was one for Rent-A-Center, which hey pal, I guess you're not making enough to get a big fancy living room set. You're on Rent-A-Center. But he was like bashing Rent-A-Center, and he was talking about how he was thinking about letting his whole furniture set get picked up, and he was really having a hard time with that because he had a 700 credit score.
Yeah. Well, so anyway,
yeah,
I have to learn in 2024 maybe not to let reviews get to me as badly. But
well, what I will say to you people who are business owners, don't ever let that shit slide. Like, put your side of the story out there too.
Yeah.
It's one thing to like let it slide off your back and not take it personally, but also don't let it slide and not respond to it. Like, put your side out there. I wish I was smart enough with computers to figure out how I could have attached the picture of the trans man, because I really think
I don't think you can on reviews.
I think only the person reviewing can attach pictures, but when you reply, you can't.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I couldn't figure it out, but I did destroy them with all the characters. So if you look us up on Google and you go look at the newest review, you can see my response. If you're taking a poop and you want to have a good little laugh, that'll give it to you for sure, guaranteed.
That was a cherry on top of a very stressful week, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good.
Business owner life.
Yeah, no biggie. But I mean, in my eyes, like, what a slap in the face to you, right? Like, he's just assuming because maybe his wife doesn't work like that, you also do not. So I flat out told him in my response, like, dude, my wife has her own LLC. She owns her own business as well. She works a full-time job. We're getting into the e-commerce, the Amazon biz, because of my boy Kevin Coons.
Yeah. Not that we owe him an explanation.
Yeah, not that I owe him shit, but like for him to just assume that, oh, well, he's extorting money out of F-bomb and just paying for his life out of there. Like,
I wish you would. I wish we could do that.
What am I, a fucking idiot? No, I put money back into the business to buy tooling and machines.
I wish we profited that much to where we could pay for our lifestyle on F-bomb's dime.
Yeah, buddy.
It'd be great.
Like, are you fucking joking me?
But that's how, like, I feel like if you, and this is no offense to anyone who doesn't own a business, but I just feel like if you have never owned your own business or known someone that does, you don't really get the insights of like what it costs to run the business. Because I mean, honestly, like I never did either before we owned F-bomb. Like I'd be like, oh, this is going to be great. Like we're going to profit 50%. We're going to do all this stuff. Like that's just not how it is at all. Like absolutely not how it is. Like that's really good, right? We're finally able to drink our apple cider. So
mine needs a little more holiday cheer.
No one can hear you correctly because you don't have your microphone up.
Mine needs more holiday cheer.
But yeah,
but it is tasty.
Anyway, that one really got to me this week, and I'm trying not to let it. But yeah,
I was shocked. Sabrina usually never will take to social media like when something like that occurs.
I'm actually really good I feel like I'm better about not getting offended. Like, I feel like you get more personally offended by things, but that one really offended me. I guess because you're right. Like,
yeah, I guess
it's about the, like, if it was just about the business or whatever, I probably would have been like, what a fucking idiot, and like moved on. But like, if you're going to bring personal lives into it where you literally know nothing about us, it's just, I don't know. That really got to me. But,
well,
anyway.
I mean, his profile picture was of,
okay.
you know,
Let's not.
I had to do a little bit of investigative work to actually figure out who it was, but it was a little bit easy as you know, he didn't leave his name or anything, and
anyway,
with
enough.
the title name of that, it was a little toughy, but I was able to figure it out. And he said that he looks at my Facebook, so I really do. I hope he keeps checking up on me on 2024, because he is not gonna be fucking pleased, because it's not gonna be coming from F-bomb, but I am going to McLaren here in the next couple months in Dallas, and I'm going to see about what I have to do to put a deposit down to order a 750S. So yeah, he's not going to be pleased about that one.
All right, well, let's move on from that before you get wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else we got?
Biggest thing you've learned.
That was the biggest thing I learned. Can't be everybody's hero.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta save yourself sometimes.
I feel like you've gotten a lot better about that, because when we first started the business, like, you really, I mean, and I think that you still do a great job of like really going all in for the customer, and like at times you still like bend over backwards and make sure like everyone's taken care of, to the point of like past where you're irresponsible to do that, but we've gotten much better about it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I will always continue to do that. Chet started that whenever I came to work for F-bomb. I thought that was something that was incredible that he did. He would try to help people too much. Like, Chet was a bleeding heart. Like, I mean, like, he would actually lose profit.
Well, we have a few times, but
I mean, we have a few times
when we fucked shit up, we have.
Yeah, I mean, you have to fix what you fuck up, but he would sometimes lose profit, like, just for funsies, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I definitely have had to get a lot better, because I mean, there's not a lot there at the end of the day. Like, there's not a lot there that we profit off, that, you know, I have to have something to put back into the business, because we have to scale and we have to grow every year, because our community grows. So Lavernia is getting larger. More people are moving here. So we have to be able to accommodate with more equipment, with different scan tools, with different software for like the European stuff. We're starting to see more Audis, Mercedes, things like that, which is fine, because I'm competent in working on those. But you've got to have the tooling necessary. That way you can, you know, effectively do it and not be winging it by the seat of your pants. And that costs money. So you have to pay attention to that stuff a lot more. Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely done better about that. What about you? What's been your biggest business lesson in your side of business this year?
Business wise, let's think. So I've definitely,
not that you work, you piece of shit.
Yeah, not that I work or anything, but I definitely feel like I've stepped a lot more into like a leadership role this year in my business. And so like we were talking to friends about this like maybe a week ago or so, but being a leader of people has got to be the hardest job like I've ever had in my life. This year has tested my patience and my confidence in being a leader. Like, because I was like high level and I would help like the CEO with whatever he needed help with. And I was always like kind of managing his business and doing that kind of stuff. But I was never really in charge. Well, I was still the go-to person, but it wasn't like it is now, where I'm like directly in charge of the entire team and the staff at my job. And basically, my job is to make sure that the team is performing and doing what they need to be doing. And I'm developing processes, or I'm helping them kind of organize their day or their tasks or train them. And it is so much easier to just be focused at like a job or a task that you have to get done versus like having to talk and communicate with other people all day long about improving or doing things a different way or whatever it is. Like when it's fun, when they're doing great and it's fun and it's like you can just celebrate with them and like have a good time, like that's easy. Like that part is easy, like celebrating them and like being pumped because they did a great job at this. But people aren't perfect, so there's always room for improvement, and like having tough conversations or holding people accountable. Like my personality can come across, I mean, I'm sure even Brandon knows, like, because
As a
yeah, because I get it at home. Like if I'm trying to be, if I am trying to just tell someone that they are doing a bad job, or maybe not even a bad job, like they could do better at something, it comes across as I am talking down to them, or I'm just coming across very blunt. But that's never my intention. My intention is always to help.
Yeah.
But the way that my personality is, I just say what I think, and I don't really know how to talk softly to somebody as far as like critiquing them goes. So that's been,
yeah, I'm sure that's super difficult for you because I feel like I do a little bit better job than you at that particular thing, because
you do.
I definitely, my team is diverse, so I cannot approach everybody the same way. I kind of have the same delivery, which I think is a good thing, because nobody ever thinks they're getting special treatment, because I have the same expectations and same delivery for everybody. But you definitely, like, I know what motivates certain people, and I know what buttons to push. Like, I know exactly what needs to be said and how I need to push to get Ryan to spread his wings and fly. When I need to motivate Matt, I know how to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something I still need to like learn of my team too, is I try to pay attention. What is wrong with those animals? I hope y'all can't hear that.
Get Frenchies, they said.
Anyway, I try to pay attention to that kind of stuff, but I think like we're at the point in my business where we could use more staff, but we're not to the point where we can really afford way more staff yet in the business, like how the CEO runs it. Like I just think he's not ready to hire more staff.
You know what? Maybe it's because he's paying for his life out of his business.
Well, you know, some would say, right?
Some would say.
But yeah, so it's just been a struggle because I'm leading a team, but I also have to pick up slack and pick up the ball where it's dropped and fix problems when they arise. So then my attention has to go there versus training the team or leading them into certain goals or whatever. So it's just been a very hard balance for sure.
That brings up a topic too, since you're talking about leading a team. One thing I'm not good at is, like, on TikTok, I went to war with a bunch of dumbasses this week. Kind of ties in a little bit to our review. So there was like a video where this lady, she was like, yeah, and so there was a study done, and on this study, it basically said that these people that were working with avatars that had designer clothes were less apt to choose the route that mutually benefited both parties.
What?
So basically, like, they were presented with a task with these avatars.
Yeah.
And one avatar was not wearing designer clothes. It was like AI avatars.
Okay.
And they were supposed to work together to complete a task. Well, one of the avatars did not have designer clothes, and one was dripped out with 2 chains and blenders on. And so
a Louis Vuitton.
Yeah,
maybe.
the actual people that were working with the AI avatars did not want to choose the route that mutually helped the people in designer. It was more so they wanted to help the avatar that did not have the designer logo.
Oh.
So she was saying basically if you're a team lead or you're in a leadership role, you should not flaunt your money like that. So a bunch of brokies got on there and they were like, yeah, piece of shit people, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, what does it matter how somebody else spends their money? You have no idea how they're obtaining their money to spend and to get those things. What the fuck does it matter? Like, if anything, whenever I see somebody that has more than me, like somebody who actually has a McLaren and doesn't just talk about getting one and is trying to manifest it into existence, like, I want to go up and I want to be like, hey, man, what do you do? What? Who are you? What do you do for a living? How did you afford this car? What's your payment? What insurance are you paying? Like, I want to be friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that motivates me, because I know no matter what they tell me, like whatever they are doing, I can do it if I set my mind to it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how they spend their money. I don't care if they have a flashy car. I don't give a fuck if they're wearing designer. That's fucking awesome, because obviously whatever they're doing is working for them. And to me, it motivates me, like, I can do that. So I'd rather, like, instead of being envious and jealous, I would rather, see what works. And I mean, it doesn't even just apply to that. Like, don't think of people who just wear flashy clothes and stuff are wealthy. Like,
Yeah.
we're from a rural town. Like, there's farmers out here with combines and tractors. Dude, those are fucking more than a McLaren, bro.
Yeah.
So just because they don't have flashy clothes doesn't mean they don't have real wealth. So just don't associate the two. There's plenty of people I know that wear flashy clothes and they broke.
Yeah.
Like, I know they broke. But it's all good. Like, I don't care. I don't pocket watch other people. Like, I don't care what other people do with their money. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And so that's a total, I believe the word is fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
fallacy.
Pulled that one out of Webster's. What you wear and how you dress, that just doesn't matter. I know people that are millionaires that dress in a shirt like this, has no logo on it. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, being in the finance industry myself, like, there's plenty of people that do not choose to spend their money on designer clothes, but they still have money.
Yeah, but you damn sure have some people, I mean, in the building that do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Shane, she buying Louis.
Yeah. Well,
because that was the big argument, was like a lot of people were in the comments, they were like, real wealth, those people do not buy designer. I'm like, no. Yeah, some of them fucking do. I guarantee I know them. Like,
yeah. I mean, all of that is just built on
it's just
jealousy or whatever it is.
What I'm saying is social media is like such a crazy place. So my advice to anybody listening that's going into 2024 is just fucking do you, man. Do whatever it is that makes you happy. Chase your goals. Like, aspire to be a better you at the end of the day, because that's all you ever have to beat is you. So just do that. Like, fuck everybody else.
What about personally? Do you have anything personally that you feel like
I've learned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned
like
that
on a personal level.
Yeah, French bulldogs are fucking expensive when they have to go to the vet, because
there he is. He's chewing his paws.
Jesus, we've got this one little dude, Monty. Like, every single thing that can go wrong with the French bulldog went wrong this year. Had an eyeball ulcer. He's got like what is it? He's got some weird allergy condition where he itches all over. Seizures. Poor guy's having seizures, so he's on seizure meds. Just that was pretty expensive on a personal level.
Yeah, it was definitely a time. That's what you've learned personally about Frenchies.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
mean, I definitely have
I'll
learned
take
that.
it. Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I've learned that this year I am I'm a lot stronger and more resilient mentally than I have thought possible. Because like I say, this year was difficult, I feel, for a lot of people, us included. It was not the easiest year for us as a couple, just because, like, obviously I worked a shit ton this year. Her moving into the new role, being in a leadership position, she had to work quite a bit this year. Um, you know, so yeah, it was tough. Definitely tested me mentally a few times. Like, there was a few walls I ran up against this year, like mentally just battling with different things. You know, I feel like you constantly wonder if you're good enough, how you're going to progress, like barriers that you have to break through. A lot of weight is on your shoulders when you're an entrepreneur, and I think it's easy to get broken, but I did not break. I got up every day and gave it my best effort and tried to be better the next day. And, so I'm a lot stronger mentally than I used to be. I know that for a fact, and a lot stronger than I thought that I was. So, yeah, I would say personally, I think I grew in that fashion this year.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Sonny. Proud of you too. Thanks for making like triple my salary so we can get that pool.
You're welcome. Just kidding. I don't make triple his salary, guys.
Just double.
Anyway.
Seriously.
Let's see. Personally, what I've learned, so we talked about business. Personally, I feel like this was probably, one of the hardest years that we've had, like just business wise, but also for me personally, like with friends and stuff. And so I think I learned a lot about myself through that process of like losing a really, really good friend that I thought would be in my life forever. And now, not to like put our business out there because I'm not going to speak on behalf of my friend, but I think we're working on things now, and I think that we're going to have a better friendship for it. But yeah, I think like dealing with friends as an adult is like really hard. It's
kudos to you for having friends.
You have friends.
I purposefully keep my circle very, very small.
We just went out with friends the other night.
Yeah. No, we did.
You have friends.
No, I do, but it's a very small circle.
I also think that it's different for men versus women. Like when I'm out with like my best friend, who I had a lot of conflict with this year, which was both of our faults, and I won't get into details because obviously like I'm just not going to talk about everything.
I know whose fault it wasn't. Not mine.
So, but like losing a friend that you talk to every single day and that you like hang out with almost every single day, and like for women, that's like, it's like really hard because like I feel like men, whenever y'all are hanging out together, y'all don't really talk about anything. Like I always wonder what y'all just talk about weird shit like cars or like football or like whiskey. But like friends, like when I'm talking to my best friend, I'm talking to her about like,
you're talking shit about me.
No, I'm talking to her about the inner linings of my colon, like my deepest darkest secrets, like every single little thing that you can talk to somebody about. Like girls are talking to their best friends about that. Like that.
I talk to you about that. You are my best friend.
You're my best friend too, honey. But I'm saying like a girl and girl relationship is like, it's just different. Like female relationships are just so much different.
Well, I agree, but I also think that's a little bit of a stigma too. Like, I think that's what's wrong with men's mental health is not enough people pay attention to that, and men feel like they can't be vulnerable.
I agree.
I do have certain friends that I talk to, and like, I've got a buddy down in Corpus. Like, I'm not able to see some of my friends because a lot of my friends are from like different. I've got friends in different states. I've got friends in different cities, but I've got a buddy down in Corpus that calls me up like probably every other week, and it's just a little 3-minute call. Hey man, are you good? Like, is everything good? Are you all right? How's shit going?
Yeah.
Shoot the shit real quick, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. I ask him like, "Are you good? What's going on down there? How are you?" And that's it. So,
yeah.
But that as a man, you should not have a stigma or a worry about talking about your feelings or opening up to how you feel or anything like that, because it doesn't mean you're soft or you're weak or anything like that. If anything, if you're able to do that, like, you are one of the 1% strongest men out there.
Yeah.
And you should encourage others. Like, if, I think men should encourage each other to do that, because I think as a man, whenever, kind of like you were saying, men typically do have less friends. And
close friends, yeah.
when you do get into a funk, which is going to happen, it's very easy to spiral down and like be in a very, very dark place. And I think traditionally men don't handle it as well as women for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, because they're taught not to express themselves. I think part of like the release of like feeling better is like just talking to somebody about it and like expressing your feelings. But yeah, so yeah, this year was really hard for me as far as like friendships go, but I also learned a lot about like myself and what I need to work on as a person, and like how I could have handled situations better, or like what I was accountable for. I feel like we're always like, whenever we get in conflict, we're always like trying to blame the other person for whatever it is that happened. But the reality is it's always at least two people involved in conflict. And so you have a part in that conflict, whether or not you want to like see it. And so I think I just learned how to be I feel like I've always been introspective. Like I will look at myself and be like, what was my fault in that? Or like, how could I have done better? But I really did that this year, and like learned a lot about like myself and the things that I do that aren't healthy and why I do them and why I shouldn't do that. And, just different stuff like that I think helps you to become a better friend in the future or a better partner. And so, yeah, I just learned a lot about myself, and now I'm getting to rebuild the friendship, and I am happy about that. And so I think there's always like two people to be held accountable in anything that happens. So, yeah, that's what I've learned.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
So, what are your goals for 2024?
Well, we just went and bought like $1,000 worth of workout clothes today. Also, she paid for those. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Mr. Holsek, if you're listening, she paid for those with her credit card.
I actually paid for them with my debit card.
Oh, shit.
But, yes.
I always pay for shit with my credit card because I like the points.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm too fat. I stepped on a scale this morning and it fucking scared me. I'm usually I'm all right with being a medium husky man. Like, I've always, for the longest time been kind of medium husky. Now I'm trending to like a thick boy.
Well,
I can't.
I will love you no matter what, honey.
Well, yeah, but it's just not good. Like,
I want your heart to be healthy.
No, shit. I'm here for a good time, not a long
You
time.
could be,
you know what I'm saying?
You could be a skinny little stick, and I would still tell you to stop eating fast food and stop drinking the shed every day.
Yeah, I love the shed, but I think that's what's killing me. Like, every day, sometimes that is my lunch, my preferred lunch. So
yeah,
I gotta figure it out. That's one thing I gotta get. It's usually pretty easy. I've done this before where I'm like, all right, fat fuck, get yourself into shape. And I drop like, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds. It's pretty easy for me.
He will go into January. At the end of January, he's going to drop like 30 pounds, and I'm going to gain 1 pound back. I guarantee it.
I got to do that. I'm definitely figuring out what it takes to get a McLaren this year, whether I decide to go with tactical fleet or whether I just decide to put a deposit and order a brand new one and just wait 2 years for it to come in. Pretty sure that's going to happen this year. I want the business to scale this year. I'm going to push really hard. I've been pushing fleet services, trying to cater to like local fleets because we have a lot of local businesses that I want to help. I know there's businesses out there that have, anywhere from 10 to 15 service trucks, and I want to push that this year.
Yeah.
Just generally want to be a better Brandon Brown. I want to be a better F-Bomb Diesel Performance, better husband, better friend, like just be better. I mean, my goal is kind of the same every year, except, I'm not trying to buy a McLaren and not be a fat ass, but I guess those are the two things that I'm going to try and really work on this year. We actually decided today at breakfast we're going to do the 75. She's going to do the 75 hard, she says. I'm going to do the 75 easy because, like, y'all can probably, I know y'all have seen my bourbon collection, but I'm just not doing the whole no alcohol thing. Like, if I want to come home and have a glass of bourbon, like, I'm a grown-ass man, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do the 75 easy, but the rest of the shit, like 2 workouts a day and the water and reading a book, like, that's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
All you got to do is beat this up here. And I already proved to myself this year multiple times that I can do that time and time again. So
yeah. So starting January 4th.
Yeah, because she's got to get LASIK next week. So
I get LASIK on the 2nd. So by the 4th,
also,
she said 24 hours of no working out.
F-Bomb did not pay for that LASIK. I swear to God.
Nope. They did not.
Nope.
I paid for that. Thank you. Anyway, January 4th through March 19th. That's 75 days. March 19th is your birthday.
Yeah.
So, our diet, in case you guys are wondering, I'll just go through our whole 75 hard conversation that we had at lunch. But basically what our diet's going to be, we don't really eat badly. Like when we cook at home or when Joanne cooks our meals, we don't eat badly. So we're not really changing that part of it, but we're only going to get coffee out twice per week, which is like huge because we usually get coffee every single day. We're not doing any fast food. No snacking after dinner. We're too old for that now. I love a good snacky snack after dinner, and it's just I'm
horrible, dude. Mootopia vanilla and Mootopia chocolate milk, like I'm typically hammering a glass of that a night, but I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and so I had to make a rule. This is a whole rule under our diet. No milks after dinner, except for once a week. And for me, no hot chocolate after dinner, except for once a week. So Brandon just bought me this super awesome hot chocolate maker. It's like you can use almond milk or whatever, but you just pour the milk into the thing cold. Then you pour the hot chocolate, which is just chocolate, like it's
hotel chocolate.
It's like flaked chocolate bits. So you pour the hot chocolate into the little canister with the milk, and then you press a button and it literally heats up and froths, and like it's the most amazing thing I've ever had. I love hot chocolate.
I paid for that. I worked a few Saturdays and scrimped up the money.
So F-Bomb did pay for that, I guess. If you
No. These were cash tickets that I did for friends of mine. So
yeah. So anyway, that's our diet. That's what we're eliminating from our diet. And then progress pictures we're going to take after our morning workouts. So in the morning, we're going to work out together. We're going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, even Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because we're just going to get in the habit of waking up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, because then if you don't over the weekend, then it like ruins your will to do it.
Yeah, so we're just going to do it. And then on the weekend, we can like go back to bed after we shower or whatever. But we're going to do that.
Not me.
I will. Our second workout is going to be in the evening, but we'll probably do those separately because we both get home at different times. So we'll do like treadmill sauna for our second workout, or I'll work out with my friends in the evening. Then we have to drink a gallon of water a day. I'm not going to do alcohol, so I'm doing the legit 75 hard. Brandon can have his alcohol. And then you have to read 10 pages from a book every day, a nonfiction book. So we each chose 2 books, but Brandon hasn't chose his books yet. But my books are going to be The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek, which I am also reading for work. So it's kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. And then The 4 Agreements, which I have read before. And it's a really good book if anyone is interested in that one. It's called The 4 Agreements. Who's the author? David something.
I tried to get into that one, and now I guess I have to read it. But
Don Miguel Ruiz. So it's a little woo-woo, like it's a little bit like he talks about some hippie stuff, but the core principles are there. Like they are legit good, like core principles you should live by. So I can't wait to read that one again with you. I feel like it'll be helpful.
Can't wait.
So yeah, we're going to do the 75 hard. One of my goals is just to keep progressing as a leader, but I think that will come like on a personal level too, like just holding myself accountable for my thoughts and how I react to things, both like on a personal level, like in my relationships, my friendships, my marriage, but also like in business and how I think every day and my perception of what people think of me and all of that stuff, or like my reactions to things. I've been really good about like analyzing my reactions, like my feelings towards either like what someone's telling me or what they're doing, and making sure that I'm not reacting from a place of like trauma or like just bad habits on my part. So I've been trying to be very good about that and just growing as a person and being better overall, just as a partner in marriage and friendship and as a leader. So I'm going to keep working on that.
Let's get it.
I took my extensions out. I'm trying to also be more accepting of like just my natural self. But that's hard to do as a woman. So.
Well, I think you look beautiful.
Thanks.
Absolutely ravishing.
Thanks.
If you will. I would just like to say for anyone who's put up with our literal BS on this podcast for the little bit of time that we've been doing it, I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you go into the new year and whatever your personal goals are, business goals, life goals, family goals, friendship goals, I hope you kick their ass. We will be here to be hand in hand with you and hold you accountable, mainly because I'm very good at holding people accountable. So I want to say thanks for putting up with us this year, our shenanigans, to any of our customers that listen, or to anybody who's on my Facebook that's a friend of mine. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. I get a lot of people that message me. I've got a buddy that used to work at F-Bomb way back in the day with Chet. He's now a farmer, and he listens to us whenever he's riding in the tractor. So thank you, Josh. We appreciate you. Generally want to say thanks to all of our customers this year that keep us in business and keep coming back. Just
thank you.
We're blessed. Whether F-Bomb's paying for it or not is still to be configured or to be determined. So, but we're blessed going into 2024. So thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you for all of the support and listening to our podcast.
And the ideas. I mean, we don't always know what to talk about. So the ideas or the text messages or DMs or whatever that we get on like, hey, I think I would be interested to hear your input on this, which for anybody to ever message me and ask like, hey, what do you think about this, blows my fucking mind, because it's like, who cares, right? What does this idiot know? But thank you guys. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Thank you for listening. And I hope everyone has a fun time tonight. I know by the time y'all listen, it will be 2024, but Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we're going to go take a nap.
We're out.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe with us on YouTube, and listen to us on Spotify and wherever else you stream podcasts. Email us for topics and conversations that you'd like to hear next at info@someonecallbs.com.